Welcome back. This is your friend Umesh. We are going to talk about ITIL 4 Foundation Certification and Training. Now we are going to talk about Module 4 Service Management Terminology. Let's begin. Now Module number 4 we talk about understanding of the value. So as many of you might not be aware about what is really value. So now we going to talk about more details on the value. How the value will generate in IT service management. Now let's understand the basic definition of ITIL in the service management context. Service management is defined as a specialized set of capabilities, means organization have the capability to deliver a value in the form of service. That means an organization will require a lot of specialized capability to deliver a service. For example, in a data center services, you require a network specialist, storage specialist, application specialist, or SMEs who's going to help you to deliver data center services, or in a similarly into the cloud services. That means they will be providing the services based on service management. So exactly same thing will happen into the IT service management. We need to understand the various component of the service management where we need to develop the capability in the terms of value. So we need to understand the context about value management. What we really understand the value. Value is the perceived benefits, means what we really understand as a value. So what we really think about the value. For every customer, user, sponsor, value is perceived differently. Someone give the importance to the service level targets, someone will give the focus on the finance and the delivery, or any other thing also. So the nature of the value needs to be identified, and it has to be understood from the various stakeholders involved in delivering the service value and taking as a service value. So we need to understand how the value will be created and enabled throughout the service management or in the form of services. When we talk about the organizations, so it create value creation. So value creation is the most important context. So what is really an organization? So organization could be a one person, or it could be a hundreds of the people who's working into the one organization and providing the services, where they will have the various job responsibilities, where they need to perform and collaborate cross-functionally with the various groups, team, and the resource also. So organization is always defined into various factors. It could be a size, complexity, entities, legal, or one person, could be a 10 people, or could be 100,000 people. And it have the common thing objective, why this organization is being defined, what are the relationships, and who have the authority to deliver. So those who have the authority, so how the organization will run. Next, we talk about the providers and the consumer. Both create a value. That means nowadays we everyone understand what we want and what we can deliver. So both customer and the service provider work together to deliver a value in the form of services. So organization believe that the value is co-created through an active collaboration. Yes, it is very true. When we collaborate, when we have the discussion, open-ended question, we can deliver a far better value. And then the provider and the consumer can have the better relationship. So we need to make sure that better relationship is being created. So we need to look at how the output will convert into the outcome. So output is a very simple, tangible, like closing a ticket. That means, and the closure of the ticket overall in the month is called the outcome. So for example, you receive a 10 ticket today, you resolve the 10 ticket, but in a month you receive 100 ticket, but you only resolve the 90 ticket. So that means the outcome is 90%, not the 100%. So they always look at the outcome, not the output. Like your internet services, which is running through 24 by 7, 365 days. That's the outcome. If you have the outage or service is not available, that means something is wrong. That means the compliance is not done. So organization who deliver the service always and always called as provider. Those who consume and use your services always called as consumer. Next, we talk about value, outcomes, cost, and the risk. So they are the very common, important, and the aspects for the service and the service delivery. So logically, again, the definition has been changed into the 2018 onward, version 4 onward. A service is a mean of enabling the value co-creation by facilitating outcome that customer want to achieve without the customer having to manage specific cost and the risk. So means the customer do not want to manage the costing and the risk part, how the service needs to deliver. What they will focus, they only pay for the value. That means the money, they will pay only the dollars, and then they look for the service. So always needs to understand the value for the service consumer, means who's consuming the service, means what you can provide does not matter nowadays. What customer want, consumer want, that matters most. So if defined by their own business needs, so what is their business requirement and the necessity, that needs to be identified. We need to focus on that. If somebody want the burger and you are delivering the pizza, it does not mean that you are delivering a right services. So it achieved throughout the support of the intended outcomes and optimization of the service consumers cost and the risk. That means you're trying to reduce the cost and the risk part of the customer, what they are really looking for. That means if the customer want to create their own data center management team or the workplace management team, they will have the additional cost rather than you are providing the services and providing the support and managing their data center and the workplace, so they can reduce their cost. That's the one focus. And anything service degradation, so they need to don't have to worry about that. They will be only talk to you and then resolve that. So that also important that these kind of requirement keep changing. Yes, today we are into the digital age. Yes, and more I can say the artificially intelligence, robotics, IoT. So the changes of the requirement, understanding are keep changing. So you don't have to think that we created a service. Now the services keep changing. So you need to upgrade. You need to come up with the better solution. So that means you can retain always and always your customer. So this means the value proposition. You need to look at what is really customer looking. So definitely you need to focus on the cost and the risk which needs to be reduced drastically for the consumer perspective. Next one, talk about a two important term, which is utility and the warranty. Utility is something which is something your need, what you want, what is your requirement. So utility is a functionality offered by a product or service to meet a particular need. That means I want a phone. Okay, what kind of phone? The phone can provide me to the application to make a call, to use a WhatsApp, to use the services, to use the internet. Okay, fantastic. So you can buy it into the $300 to $1,000 or more than that also. Whereas warranty is the assurance that a product will meet the agreed requirements, means something that you are selling the product. It could be any product. It could be a Samsung, it could be a Apple, or it could be a Xiaomi, or it could be a Motorola, or any other product. That means they are giving the assurance that your requirement is meeting in our services or in the product. So utility again focus on what the service does, what they do, like your internet service provider, whether they provide the internet services, what quantity, quality, and specifications. So that means we need to focus on the fit for purpose. The fit for purpose is the ultimate goal for the service that needs to deliver by the utility. So that requires support and the performance of the consumers or remove constraints from the consumers. That means we need to focus on delivery management. Whereas the warranty talk about fit for use, that means how the service perform, how confidence you have. That means talk about like service support also, availability, capacity, service level and the continuity. That means what level of service support you can provide. That means we need to make sure more warranty and the assurance point of view. Next, talk about the service consumers or consumer role. Means who is the customer? What exactly the mean of the of customer? So most of the people talk about or the resources talk about what is really customer, customer call, client call, or end user call, user call. So something like this. So the customer is the one who basically take the responsibility of your services and make sure that outcome of the service consumption means they identify the requirements, what service will do, what service will not do. Like you define your requirement, what is the capacity you required for the internet bandwidth, 100 mbps, 200 mbps, 500 mbps. Whereas the user is the one who's basically use your services. It could be you, it could be your family in your home, those who are using your internet services, or those who are in your office, those who are using the laptop for the workplace services like O365. Then you have a sponsor. The sponsor is the one who is basically paying for that money. So the person who authorized the budget or service consumption means for those services which you are selling or which you are looking as a customer, which is requirement. That means somebody is going to pay for that. That's called the sponsor. Next, service and the products. So what is really a service? Again, we are talking about the same definition, which is co-creation of the value. That means you need to manage a specific cost and the risk. So service an organization provide based on the one or more of its product means you are combining like data center services which include network, storage, platform, cloud and many more, even SAP, application, ERP, CRM. So sometimes you might not aware about the what are the product you are looking. You just look at overall service. So product is a configuration of resources, multiple resources created by the organization. That means the organization create a bundle of the services and creating a package to you that will be potentially valuable to their customer or end user. That means mixing and creating a multiple product and then creating a service. So product is a typically complex which sometimes you don't understand, like laptop. Most of you may still not aware about the configuration of the laptop or a desktop or mobile phone. But you know laptop is HP, Apple, MacBook, Dell, Lenovo, phone, iPhone 14, 15, 13, Samsung. So there are various products. So you may not be well aware about those products which is a more complex, but you know what is the purpose of those products, how to use the laptop. So organization define which product component their consumers see and tailor them to suit their target consumer groups. That means they are well aware about what is to be done, what is not to be done, and how to be done. They are well aware about that also. So what are the service relationship? Means when you have a service provider, then you have a consumer, definitely there is a relationship. So you need to look at the provisioning of the service provided by the service provider is called provisioning. Those who are consuming called consumer, and those who consumes, definitely you required a relationship means you are providing the services and putting a invoicing to every month to the consumer, and then they consume and they provide the feedback and the invoicing and the billing will happen. That means you have a in official a corporate relationship. That means both corporates are to work together and providing a services. One is providing services, one is taking the services, consuming your services. So service relationship consists of the joint activities performed by the service provider and the consumer to ensure continual value co-create co-creation based on the agreed available service offering. So what are the new services which you are offering? New catalog services. Now, when you talk about the relationship model, it is important to look at what is really important. So, when service are being delivered by the provider, so they create new resources for the service consumer or modify existing one. For example, a training service improve the skills of the consumer's employee. Another example, a broadband service allow the consumer's computer to communicate. So means you can browse. Car hire service enables the consumers staff to visit the clients. Means you can go and take up like simple Uber services. So software development, like you can customize and required as per your necessity, and the required services will be provided. So there are various organizations work together, like HP is providing the servers, Dell is providing the storage, IBM is providing the data center services, and organization D is a Microsoft. So various organizations work together to build up the new relationship and provide the services. So this is really important that we need to focus on that and talk about on service and the service relationship. So that's all for this particular day, and we will catch you into the next module or the new topic. Thank you very much. Have a nice day ahead.